everybody, and welcome back to Bold Life. I am your host, Zayna Allen. We have an amazing show for you today, so make sure you leave your thoughts in the comment section below. We want to know what you think. Now, June is New York City Pride Month, and to celebrate Pride, we have creator and host with us, Nikki Levy. Hello, Nikki. How are you doing?
Hi, nice to meet you on this.
Nice to meet you as well. I wanted to talk to you about your "Don't Tell My Mother" brand. Let's talk about why you originally started this entire. I know you started it about a decade ago, but what was your inspiration behind it?
My inspiration for creating it is that I come from like an overbearing, oversharing Jewish mother from the Bronx. Like that's my mother. And, I always thought that like everyone had to tell their mothers everything. That's how I grew up. Like you have to tell her everything. It's like an open door policy, no doors, like just curtains. And then I learned, through therapy and through friends that people have something called boundaries. Like literally this was not a thing in my household. And I was like, oh my God, people have amazing stories. And usually those stories are the things they don't tell their mother. I have amazing stories, and unfortunately, my mother knows everything. She knows like when I lost my virginity. She knows when I got stoned for the first time. I mean, she knows too much. But I decided like I love writing and performing. My background is writing and performing, but by day I've worked for like ever in making movies and television. And the idea for me always when I started Don't Tell My Mother, and it was 8.5 years ago, it was like, we all feel so weird. I feel weird. I grew up like a closeted gay kid from a hoarder household in Queens. And I grew up embarrassed about everything. My mother drove a car held up by, fishing wire and duct tape. And that is not an exaggeration. That is for
wow.
That is Caprice classic 80s, no joke. And I felt embarrassed, obviously, right? I felt embarrassed. And I grew up in an area where people drove way nicer cars. And I just felt like a weirdo my whole life. And the gay thing obviously added to it. But for me, it was like, okay, so if we're all sharing our stories, then it's like we free other people to share theirs and we don't feel so weird anymore.
Right. I love that. No, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you about your third Audible special that you have coming out. It's called The Coming Out Party, a Pride Celebration.
Yep.
And it will be co-starred by Shangela, which I think is amazing.
Yes.
Now, why did you decide to do this third Audible special for this with co-host Shangela?
Well, so yeah, it's our third year with Audible. It's called an Audible Original because like you can only get it on Audible, which is super cool. Shangela was in it last year. And Shangela told a fabulous story about kind of sneaking her way into a Beyonce concert and then stealing Beyonce's towel. Long story.
Oh my gosh.
She became a really good friend. And when I got the opportunity to do another Pride special, she was my first choice. And usually as collaborations go, like Shangela and I would be in studio. Like we'd be in a studio somewhere. We'd be like up on each other. We're really good friends and we love to work together. But I had to record this from my closet here in Los Angeles. Shangela recorded it from her grandmother's closet in Paris, Texas. That's where she's quarantining. And we literally did it over a computer separately. So we did a Pride special inside the closet.
That's amazing. I love how you guys are like really pushing through even though we're stuck inside.
I mean, let me tell you something. As like creative people, and you're creative, right? Like as creative people, we will lose it if we don't bring things into the world. They don't have to be perfect, but they just have to be done.
Yeah.
And just because we can't go out and do Pride and, wear pasties, like, by the way, super fun, advocate pasties. If we can't do that, like we can still celebrate. And so we made it work. And it was so much fun because she's hilarious, but she's also such a great advocate for queer stories.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I love that. Amazing words. Thank you, Nikki, for all of this. I'm really excited to check out your Audible special. And for everything else that you have to come. I'm excited for Pride Month. I'm gonna just say that right now. I'm happy that you're doing this to kick off Pride because I'm excited I'm so sad that we're at home. Last year we actually covered Pride Month in New York. So I'm so sad, but I'm so excited.
Did?
Yeah, we did.
Oh. Fabulous.
We'll cover it from home. So thank you so much, Nikki, for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, and happy Pride.
Yes, happy Pride. If you are a Netflix fan just like me, I'm sure you've seen the new Netflix series, Too Hot to Handle. Bold TV correspondent Justin Crawford had a chance to catch up with some of the cast members. Check it out.
That's right, Zayna. It's time to play a game of Quickie Cues. Don't ask me where I came up with the name. I just made it up, and it seemed like a really good fit for the vibe of our next guests. From the Netflix original series, Too Hot to Handle, why don't we get to know a little bit more about our favorite guys, David Birtwistle, Bryce Hirschberg, and Corey Sampson. I'm going to go through 10 questions back to back, giving them little to no time to respond so we can get the first answer that comes to mind. Here we go. Where's your first go-to bar on a first date?
Number 32 in Clapham.
Pool. I like to play pool. I like to show off.
I don't know about bar, but I love an espresso martini, so that's what I drink at whatever bar I go to.
How old were you when you had your first kiss?
It was in New York, and so there you go, relate to that. I think it was a Marriott downtown. I was with my parents as a childhood friend, and I was probably like, 11 or 12.
13.
I don't know, like 12, 13 maybe.
When I say blue, what comes to mind?
I mean, my key at the moment, because this is the thing is in front of me and it's blue.
Ocean.
The song, like, blue.
When was the last time you gave Nicole a compliment, and what was the compliment?
This morning, I told her she was lovely, and I watched her YouTube video, and she's amazing in it.
I text someone saying, morning beautiful today, I think.
I love that. Oh, you think? We'll talk about that off camera.
I said, loved seeing you today. Love you. You're such a great person.
Finish the phrase. Right now, I would love to be sitting on a...
big yacht in Monaco.
Right now, I would love to be sitting on a...
Beach.
Right now, I would love to be sitting on a...
Oh, pier, like by the sea.
Your fans love you. How much do you love them back?
Like this much.
1,000 trillion bajillion times more.
I love them 3,000.
What's your go-to physical exercise besides sex?
I like, I like a nice walk around.
Working out at the moment, it's running and lifting weights.
I trained Muay Thai. I was meant to be fighting this year.
What is your favorite scented candle?
Ooh, oak?
Oak? Oh, like the tree.
Like a tree? Yeah.
I like lavender.
I bought my sister a really nice one in Thailand, and it was called like this. It was like the red moon or something. The smell, but it was banging. Quite red. I don't know.
Do you think you'll go back to reality TV soon?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm hoping. We're hoping to do something soon. Finish
the sentence. Justin Crawford's superpower is.
I think he looks a little bit like me, so if you could impersonate me, I think that you could. I think that you could take over. You could just be like, put a little hat on. I'll give you one, and then you could just be Bryce of New York. How about that?
Flying.
Oh, making me smile. I feel like I've been smiling the whole thing. You just every time I get a message from you, I'm like, God, he's just such a happy bloke.
Wait, what's a bloke? Is that a London?
Bloke, a man, yeah. It's an adjective to describe a male. Bloke, B-L-O-K-E.
Bloke. Dude, I love it. You're a bloke too. You're a happy bloke as well.
And speaking of Netflix, I'm sure you've heard of 13 Reasons Why, a Netflix series that is on its final season and it's premiering this Friday, June 5th. We had the opportunity to talk to JanLuís Castellanos. Please check it out. I am here with JanLuís Castellanos of the newest season of 13 Reasons Why. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. How about yourself?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. Stuck inside. But what else can I do? But I want to talk to you about 13 Reasons Why first. I'm so excited because I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of the show overall. Like, I watch every season in a day. So I'm going to be upset when the final season airs this Friday and I'm done in a day. But how were you originally able to, get this role?
Well, it's all been one hell of a ride thus far. I gotta say, it all happened really fast, and I'm really grateful for it. Truthfully, this thing has changed my life in many ways. I remember it being like yesterday, just being in Los Angeles, looking for my next project, and you know, when I got this, I was in the middle of Wyoming.
Oh, wow.
I know, it's just like, bing. But so, you know, and I got the role, I think it was like within like a day and a half process. So before you know it, I was already in San Francisco, in the Bay Area. We were already cameras rolling, baby, you know. So went and did it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So when you were presented the role, did you have to audition for it, or was it just given to you?
Yeah, it was an auditioning process. I had to audition. I remember going to Wyoming and like I had to send myself tape by text message when I was on my way to the airport, and I was just like, here's my self tape. I landed. I had a call back. I took notes over the phone. I sent in a self tape again, and then that same night they were like, oh yeah, you're coming tomorrow. So that was really exciting. Yeah, it was like over. I didn't even think it was. It didn't hit me yet. You know, it didn't hit me. I got to set. I met. It didn't hit me. It's gonna hit me now when I watch it this Friday. So. Oh.
But it hasn't hit you while you were taping, and nothing. It hasn't hit you at all until now.
It has not completely hit me. I gotta admit.
Oh wow! Oh well, look, it'll hit you on Friday when this comes out. I'm very excited to see it. So what was it like working with the cast? Was it an easy way to get in? I know 13 Reasons Why is a very heavy show. So was it easy for you to get in the right mindset to be that character?
Well, you know, it took time. I can say that for sure, and I did feel a bit of pressure, you know, but it was good, challenging pressure. You know, joining the cast, it was like not overwhelming, you know, but I definitely felt it in the sense, you know, they were really welcoming though. They really helped me out. They were really welcoming. They were very nice, you know, the nicest cast that I have been a part of, and truthfully, like the nicest crew as well. You know, you walk by, there's not a day where someone doesn't ask you like how your day's going. So that's really nice and very important, especially like you mentioned, you know, a very strong and heavy YA drama like this one, you know. So, but it was really nice, and singing into my character it took some time, but the beauty about it for me was that I have spent the most time with that character out of all the characters that I played. So that I used that to my advantage, you know, to really try to sink my teeth into Diego and bring some of my high school traits back into play. So all that meathead and jockey stuff, I don't know.
Is it hard to go back and play someone in high school?
It was actually quite fun. You know, you have less responsibilities, you know, besides causing mayhem, you know, and Diego is a fun character to play though, because he's stuck in like this pickle in his head. You know, in high school you deal with all these emotions as opposed to thinking with logic. You know, you let these emotions dictate your decision making, you know. So Diego deals with that a lot, and one of the emotions that he deals with is aggression. So, you know, that's not always a good thing. And see how that turns out for him this Friday, and I can't wait.
So, you know, I think that 13 Reasons Why is very big and very popular because I think it speaks to several, not just teens, but it does target a lot of teenagers. How do you think that your character and the way you portrayed your character may help other teenagers that are going through, you know, aggression problems and things like that?
Well, you know, one thing I definitely sat down with Brian York and we discussed right in the very beginning, like the first day I got to the Bay Area, and, you know, was that we wanted to bring a very well-balanced character, you know, very well-balanced, someone that can relate to a lot of people. I didn't want him to come off too aggressive because, you know, the aggression is really, it's just a layer of the character. You know, there's more to him. There's also love. You know, he may love a certain way or might show it a different way. You know, some love may be aggression or whatever the cost may be. You know, so I think a lot of people will be able to relate to him and hopefully see his point of view in the story.
You know, you're pretty much breaking into the acting world right now. You know, you're getting your big breaks in Hollywood. What is this like? You know, what was your journey from where you started to now, and what was that like for you? What is this feeling like now?
Honestly, it just feels good, you know, coming back home and like making my family proud, low key. Like honestly, like that's like it's a dope feeling. I gotta be real. But like coming back home and be like, hey mom, I did this. Hey mom, I'm doing that. You know, it's really cool. You know, and having all these people be happy for you, and it's a really nice feeling. You know, but for me, it's been one hell of a process, truthfully. I think it's the result of my career now. I think it's the reciprocation of all the sacrifices and risks that I've taken, to get here. All the hard work, that a lot of people tend to not see. I'm not going to go and preach, oh, I'm the hardest worker in the room. I'm not perfect. I'm human. It is what it is. But, I remember coming out to LA with like $56 in my bank account. Yeah. And like I spent like my first 3 days there, like homeless on like Beverly Boulevard, knocking on doors waiting for an agency to pick me up. And, that was like 2.5 years ago, not even, So for me, it's like, I don't know, it's mind blowing to be where I am today. When I watched 13 Reasons Why for the first time, I didn't even think becoming an actor was a possibility.
Really?
Yeah, so for me to be on the 4th and final season of such a show, it's like, I don't know, it's giving me goosebumps.
Wow. Well, I'm happy for you. I'm excited to see where you go from here. I know this isn't the end, so I'm like really excited to see where you grow, because you will grow. And I'm excited to watch 13 Reasons Why, because again, like I said, I love it. I love it. It gets me in my feelings. Sometimes I might have to take a break, but
Yeah,
I'm excited to watch it.
Intense. That's all right.
Yeah. But thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so excited to have talked to you. And again,
Thank you.
I have so much pride in you. I know you're probably going to make it super big. So
Much for having. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I hope you have an amazing day.
Yes, you too. Up next to help us stay fit while we're stuck in quarantine is Mile High Run Club studio manager, Jess Woods. Jess, how are you doing?
I am good, all things considered. How are you?
I'm, the same. That's the best way to put it. I'm doing
good enough.
Yes. Yes. So, Jess, could you tell us about the Mile High Run Club?
Yes. I used to describe us as an indoor treadmill studio, but we are so much more than that now. I'm going to describe us as a running studio, period. And we offer indoor group treadmill classes. We have running coaches if you want to train with a running coach one-on-one. We have coached outdoor sessions, and we recently launched the virtual Zoom classes and soon to be launched audio guided runs as well. So we're trying to be the one-stop shop for anything and everything you're looking for running related.
Awesome. So now let's talk about the new base building program and how exactly it'll help us while we're stuck at home.
Right. So we wanted to create something for people that need a little bit more structure, right? I think right now there's so many options to stay in shape that it might be demotivating versus motivating. And so we wanted to, if you're the type of person that needs structure and, needs to be told what to run each day, we put a plan together and call it a base building plan, or call it a snap back from quarantine plan, call it a just tell me what to do plan. But basically it is a 4-week training plan, which you can find either through our website, Mile High Run Club, or through Training Peaks by searching for Mile High Run Club. And it is a 4-week training plan for any ability level. And it's going to include easy runs, a speed run, and 1 long run each week.
For people like myself who just was able to discover the beauty of running, because I was not a runner before I was stuck inside. I definitely was on the elliptical. I was on the Stairmaster. I was not running. And I don't know, I fell in love with it now that I have nothing else to do.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah, so what advice do you have for people like me who are just getting into running, don't really know exactly what to do? People tell me that I need to track the distance that I go, and I don't really care to. Help me out. What are we supposed to do?
That's a pretty big question. What are we supposed to do? But I'm going to start off by saying that, there's nothing that you have to do, right? Like, especially right now, if running is an additional stressor in your life, or if tracking the mileage and tracking the pace is giving you stress or anxiety, don't do it. Like right now, we should only be, running if it's bringing us joy. So if not having a plan and just waking up and heading out the door and going exploring in your own neighborhood is what brings you joy right now, then do it. But there's definitely some, I don't know, general guidelines or rules of thumb whenever you're just starting out, if you've never run before. So you want to make sure that you don't do too much too soon. I would say that's the biggest mistake that that I see.
That was I would tire myself out really quick. It was not. I had to find a pace. I think that was the hardest thing for me to do. Because when I first started running, very first day, I was like, zoom, like, you know, I was really going. And then I realized I don't think that's going to be good to continuously just go super fast for no reason when you should be keeping a steady pace.
Right. That's why the training plan has different types of runs, right? So every run that you go on doesn't have to be the hardest, all-out, fastest run of your life. Every run has a purpose, and so we built it in such a way that should keep everybody safe if they're following it and keeping everybody healthy. So you don't want to start off doing too much too soon, mileage-wise. So we gave ranges in the plan. So if you know that you're a beginner and you're just starting out, you would go for the lower end of the range. And if, you know, you were training for a marathon and it got canceled and you're still, you know, in shape, then you go for the higher end of the range. So not too much too soon, have fun with it. Throw in easy runs. So easy, what does that mean? That means conversational pace. So if you feel like you can't hold a conversation and you feel totally breathless, then back it off. Like if it means jogging a block, walking a block, then that's what you do. So sprinkling in easy runs as well as those fast burst runs, that should keep you healthy.
I'm definitely taking notes because I need it. When I tell you I was really tired when I first started my run journey, I guess you can say, I was exhausted. So I'm taking all these tips in, you know, but as I said, I'm not the best runner, but I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Please, everybody, please check out the Mile High Run Club, their newest program, and get to running. Get to running and stay fit.
Get to running, be safe, wear a mask, all that good stuff.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Our next guest is founder and CEO of Ardex and Envision Lead Grow, and also the author of the book, Releasing the Boss Within. Please welcome Dr. Angela Reddix. How are you doing today?
I am great. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. So let's talk about you. You do so much work. Let's talk about your new book, Releasing the Boss Within. Let's talk about why you decided to write this book. What was your inspiration? And we're going to get into this virtual book tour that I am in love with. Let's talk about this book.
The book is Envision Lead Grow, Releasing the Boss Within, because regardless of where you sit, regardless of if you're an employer, an employee, a business owner, we each have a boss within us. And it's so important that we don't allow the circumstances that we were born into dictate or limit who we could be. You know, statistics would say that there is no way in the world I would be in the role that I'm in right now. Through these years, we've done close to $178 million with the federal government. That little girl born to a teenage mother in poverty. And so what I'm here to prove to these young girls and now to women is that the possibilities are unlimited. However, there's something about being prepared when an opportunity presents itself. And that's what I believe the gap is with those who are successful and those who are not successful, is understanding that we each have a passion. We each were born for a purpose. And it's our role, we're required to find and tap into our purpose. But then we need to be educated on how do we manage our business, ourselves, to be successful. And I think COVID right now, of all times, is showing us how good discipline practices regarding financial management, regarding managing our time, our assets, that is the difference between the haves and the have-nots. It boils down to us really understanding and being told some basic principles that often they've just frankly aren't discussed at our dinner tables. And so I just wanted to break that down into what I call the standard operating procedure for women to tap in to being the best CEO of YOU.
I absolutely love your message. So you're doing this virtual book tour. Bold was able to go and check it out. And you have another one coming up. And I'm honestly impressed that you guys were able to take something that should have been in person and turn it virtual. Let's talk about the speakers that you've brought on.
These speakers, and there were 9 total speakers, from chapter 1 to chapter 9, and then I closed out with chapter 10. I love the fact that they were able to take each chapter, the theories that I laid out in the chapters, and they were able to translate that into their own life and leave nuggets of information. I have so many testimonials that have come into me from ladies who were touched by the messages. Hearing these women translate the message in the book to their life, it was everything. And, you know, as an entrepreneur and having an entrepreneurial mindset, you have to take any obstacle and turn it into an opportunity. So, you know, that virtual book tour, listen, I poured a lot into that book. And who knows when we're going to be able to gather hundreds like my vision was. But I have to tell you, there was an intimacy, the connection made one-to-one with these women who were watching this book tour. They were in the comforts of their own homes. And I tell you, the connection was still felt even though it was digital.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think it might be a way of the future because we were able to have people from all over the United States without having to worry about the expense of traveling.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, I'm so glad that you guys were able to take this terrible situation that we're in and turn it into something more positive, and being able to have this tour. And I told you this when we were having our conversation, that I think this was even better than having something in person, because like you said, everybody can come without having to be, I won't be able to travel to this place, then I won't be able to, it's so much easier. And you can gather everybody in one spot. It's just amazing to me. So thank you so much, Dr. Angela Reddix, for joining us today. And I'm really looking forward to the future of what you have for us, everything that you have going on, as well as your book. I know a lot of people have been touched by it so far. So I'm really excited for your progress.
Yes, well, I hope that your viewers will join us on the tour. That was our kickoff, but every other week, on Saturdays, we are going to be exploring 2 chapters at a time and digging deeper. I really believe, just based on what I've seen so far, that we are going to open the minds and the hearts of women. And women, I tell you, we are the backbone of this community.
Yes.
Raise the next generation. We lift up our men in our community. So it's so important that we build the emotional tenacity to be able to take on this world, no matter what's happening around us, and to feel that connection and that support that comes when we just link arms. And so I'm excited about what nuggets the women will take away.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Angela Reddix.
Thank you.
That is the end of today's show. But before we go, I do want to touch on a matter that is affecting America and the communities that we reach here at Bold Life. We are socially conscious, and we have a duty to talk about the matters that affect the groups of people that we reach here at Bold Life. There's a history of racial injustices throughout the history of America, and we have been fed up. Quite frankly, this is the time now for us, Black people, for Black allies, to speak their truths, to help us in our fight to be equal, in our fight to not be looked at as a threat, in our fight to be legal. To be Black is not to be illegal. To be Black is not to be a threat. So we here at Bold Life, our hearts and our prayers go out to the families of Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and the recent killing of George Floyd. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks.